Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E Life in Motion. KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust, serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson Navigation, serving Guam and Micronesia for 20 years. Cars Plus, Dodge Challenger, the undisputed champion. IP&E, fueling excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. Pacific Solar and King's Restaurant, located in Tamuning and Dededo. Always open, always local.
It's something everyone wants to know. Nestor Lecanto has an update with the power situation. Issa Baza has the latest with the Quartec International appeal, and FSM policy changes prevents one convict from leaving Guam. Crystal Paco will have that story. Afide and good evening. 2 of the 4 baseload generators that went down this week are back online. The 88 megawatt MEC units, which were taken offline due to mechanical problems, have been restored. But the 132 megawatt Cabris 1 and 2 generators are still undergoing repairs, which means the rolling power outages will likely continue through the end of the week. Nestor Lecanto reports.
This is the inside of the Cabris 1 boiler. It sprung a leak along with its neighbor Cabris 2, with the ongoing repairs plunging the island into load shedding. Assistant Plant Superintendent Francis Cruz says crews are working to replace damaged boiler tubes. He says the leaks are bound to happen. Units are running at full capacity.
You know, it's just like when you run your car and you open it to high speed, eventually you're gonna we'll have a little failure on it, and then we'll just come right back and fix it.
Cabris 1 and 2 are the largest but also the oldest of GPA's baseload generators at more than 40 years each. They were supposed to be retired, but were pressed back into service when the Cabris 3 and 4 units were damaged in last August's explosion. 1 and 2 were overhauled earlier this year so they could be raised from their previous 40 megawatt output to their max capacity of 66. I guess the point is, by running at full capacity, would it be more prone to failures?
No. It's like I said, when we once we replace it, we iron out those kinks. You can go a little bit more. It'll be more reliable. It's just sometimes it just happens, you know.
GPA says Cabris 1 should be back online Friday, and the number 2 unit could be restored by Sunday. Till then, expect more load shedding. Although there is a bright spot for GPA, the cooler, rainy weather has helped reduce demand. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
GPA says while the outages have been kept to a minimum, that could change during the nighttime peak. You can check on the tentative load shedding schedule on our website as well as our Facebook page. And while the stability of Guam's power supply comes into question, Senator Brent McCready is requesting for an informational hearing. In a letter to Infrastructure Oversight Chairman Senator Tom Atta, he writes that people are deeply concerned about this week's reduced power supply situation, and their concerns regarding the explosion and fire last year at Cabris have still not been addressed. He has ratepayers deserve to be better informed, and as island leaders, they need to be honest with the public about the situation and how we will move forward with fixing it, whether that involves another repair or a new power plan is needed. Senator Atta tells KUAM at the moment he will not set a hearing as he believes GPA is doing a fine job of keeping the community informed. He wants to give GPA breathing room to get things together, adding based on his conversations, he's confident they are working on immediate temporary solutions. The Commission on Utilities is weighing sweeping changes to residential solar power. The CUC met with local providers to hear input on GPA consultants' proposed new rate for solar users. GPA contends that under the current net metering system, solar users don't pay the transmission and distribution costs for using the grid and are being subsidized by non-solar customers. CCU member Simon Sanchez.
So one issue that I've been wrestling with is I want to help renewables grow, but what is the fair level of subsidy? And that's what the argument about net metering kind of is, right? And some are going to time of use, some are going to fixed costs, and I don't know what the answer is, and I assume part of this back and forth is to generate this discussion.
But the industry argues that the consultants recommended new rate of $25 per kilowatt hour per month would wipe out any savings from solar. Scott Hagan of Pacific Solar says before they do anything, existing customers should be protected.
I'd like to see happen first before even trying to have both parties concede to giving up some is what can we do to secure the existing net metering customers and agreements that are in place? I would propose immune for eternity.
The industry also contends that with only about 1% market penetration, it's too soon to change. They plan to submit their own report to the CCU detailing the benefits of net metering. The CCU is still working on a recommendation for the Public Utilities Commission, which has final approval. As another school year rolls by and students are forced to deal with dilapidated conditions at Simon Sanchez High School, losing bidder Cortec International has appealed the denial of 2 of its procurement protests before the Office of Public Accountability. Isabaza has the latest.
It's one of the largest government contracts in recent years, and losing offerer Cortec International brought its case before the Office of Public Accountability Wednesday morning. Cortec attorney Joyce Tang argued 4 major points. First, that highest rank offerer, Guam Educational Facilities Foundation, conspired to circumvent the $100 million limit of the RFP. She cites opinions by Calvo Fisher Jacob Law Firm and Speaker Judy Wampat, as well as an IDIQ document she alleges would allow the DPW director to authorize an amount beyond the stated limit. Next, she alleges GIF was unfairly allowed to submit 4 additional proposals, did not meet bond requirements, and failed to produce a complete procurement record, inclusive of audio recordings.
The evidence will show that what we have here is an incomplete log. We have missing documents and audio tapes, all of which are required by Guam law.
However, GIF attorney Ike Agagi argued these claims are baseless, saying the IDIQ document she alleges circumvents the RFP actually includes the RFP itself. As for the additional proposals, Agagi said these are an essential part of the negotiation process, needed to clarify price and scope of work. He also notes GIF's prime contractor, Hansel Phelps, is bondable up to $1 billion. As for audio recordings, he argues these are not required by Guam law.
More than half of these issues are issues that were not even properly raised in its procurement protests to the agency, or let alone raised in its notices of appeal.
Government of Guam attorney Tom Keeler agreed with Agagi, saying Cortec's allegations that 3 government agencies conspired to hand GIF a blank check are based purely on speculation. He said the 4 price proposals were a necessary negotiation tool and that a bond would be in place once the contract has been signed. As for an incomplete procurement record, he did admit the government is working to provide the necessary documents.
It's the government's position that the negotiating committee acted pursuant to the legislation and the RFP in evaluating and negotiating the RFP and the contract. They did so in good faith.
In an official statement, GIF Director Phil Flores thanked Jigo Mayor Rudy Matsunani and the island community for its support, and said continual delays to the contract's award could eventually have a detrimental effect on low-cost financing, the project's single biggest expense. However, he said the real cost is for Sanchez students who have to endure another year in substandard conditions. Flores added it's been 9 months since they were selected as the most qualified team, and he remains hopeful for an expedited resolution. The hearing before the OPA resumes tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Isabaza.
We should add that prior to the appeal before the OPA, the Department of Public Works denied all 3 of Cortec's protests, finding them without merit. In his efforts to keep Guam safe for all those who call the island home, Governor Eddie Calvo recently authorized a handful of commuted prison sentences. Last night, however, the FSM government's sudden change in policy kept 1 convict from leaving Guam for good. Crystal Paco has the story.
In a letter addressed to Governor Eddie Calvo late last month, FSM Consul General Robert Rucho announced his office could no longer provide GovGuam citizenship verification. Tuesday night, the sudden change in policy became apparent as 1 FSM national set to board a plane back to Yap was denied. The man had done his time for vehicular homicide and was currently behind bars for family violence and resisting arrest.
It appears to me it's just a lot of bureaucratic red tape to either slow down or stop the process of removal of those citizens that have come to Guam, committed crimes, did harm against the people of Guam.
Rucho says GovGuam will have to get citizenship verification instead from the Division of Immigration and Labor of the Department of Justice in Pohnpei. GovGuam will have to provide a colored photograph, fingerprints, prison records, medical records, proof the individual has consulted an attorney, and a court-certified translator in that individual's native language, among other documents. Rucho's letter states this is how GovGuam must proceed hereon, or at least until the U.S. government is able to consult with FSM.
I finally see the FSM government move, and unfortunately, not to the assistance of their brothers and sisters here in the island of Guam, and not even to the assistance of those FSM citizens that have come to Guam. So it's disappointing. I guess if there's only any good news in this, we're finally seeing some movement from the federal government.
Calvo is referring to 2 convicted rapists who within the next 2 weeks will appear before an immigration judge for their deportation following the commutation of their sentences by Calvo over the weekend.
I'm hopeful that now that they will finally listen, rather than cheap words, that we can see positive action by representatives of the government of FSM and representatives of the government of the United States. Because as far as I'm concerned, they have been absent at the wheel. They've been AWOL.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Crystal Paco.
You can read the FSM consulate's letter on our website. The Board of Directors for the Port Authority of Guam approved a resolution for a 5-year tariff petition that will not only address upgrades in critical infrastructure projects, but hopefully move forward with the port's first bond financing. General Manager Joanne Brown says the resolution will now go before the Public Utilities Commission.
There's no doubt there's going to be some impact to the cost of cargo movement here at the port, but at the end of the day, we have a larger facility, we have a more expensive facility we have to maintain. We are acquiring all this additional equipment capacity, which obviously is going to require additional personnel and additional maintenance that's going to be met.
The rates are a continuation of what was previously approved by the PUC last year for a 7% increase in adjustments for the port's terminal tariff. The tariff petition will help fund the port's share of the Tiger Grant for the refurbishment of Hotel Wharf, the replacement of the administration building, repairs to Gulf Pier, and replacing old water lines in the existing yard. The resolution will be presented to the PUC in October. Today's hearing on Guam YTK's request for Superior Court Judge Anita Sokola to confirm its arbitration award has been postponed until next week because the port's legal counsel is out sick. Back in April, an arbitration panel in the Port Authority and Guam YTK arbitration issued a unanimous award totaling $14 million. The matter related to Hotel Wharf has been in dispute for the past 10 years. The dispute surrounds a development lease agreement signed between the port and Guam YTK during the Gutierrez administration. The hearing will now be held next Thursday. Stay tuned. We're back with more news after this.
Have you gotten paid yet? That's the premium automatic insurance deduction plan from Calvo's Insurance. Paid simplifies your home and auto insurance. No down payment. No more long lines. And you can stretch your payments up to 12 months. Paid is convenient. It deducts from your payroll, your checking account, or your credit card. With Paid, you get up to 65% off your car insurance and enjoy lifestyle club discounts. Life can be easier when you get paid.
Call Calvo's Insurance today and save on your home and auto insurance.
At IT&E, we know how important it is to stay connected, especially for students and their families. That's why IT&E is proud to give students more with the Motion Student Plan. It's just $30 a month for unlimited talk and text and 3 gigs of 4G LTE data. Bring your own device and get an additional 2 gigs and up to 3 months free. Students can do more with IT&E's 4G LTE network. Unlimited talk and text plus up to 5 gigs of 4G LTE data a month for just $30. Now that's life in motion.
Tourism, it's our #1 industry. As Guam's largest employer, tourism supports 20,000 jobs. In fact, 1 out of every 3 jobs is tourism related. Annually, tourism generates over $150 million in tax revenue. Without it, every household would pay an additional $3,100 per year. From real estate to retail, tourism has a positive impact on every industry. Make Guam a better place to live, work, and visit. Support tourism.
In the market for a new or used car, Triple J says yes. Triple J Auto Group has the largest selection of brands on Guam. See for yourself at our newly enhanced website, triplejguam.com. We make it easy. First-time buyers welcome. 0 down. Trade-ins welcome. Get pre-approved instantly. Triple J says yes. Even get an instant trade-in offer all online. It's simple, safe, and secure. Plus, you can get a real-time view of the car of your dreams all at the touch of a finger. Why leave home when we can bring our dealerships to you? Triple J says yes at triplejguam.com. Triple J, customers first.
Follow KUAM News on Twitter or become a fan on Facebook to get all your daily headlines from Guam's News Network.
Hafide and welcome back to Primetime. Just as island leaders continue to seek relief with government officials over the high rates of H-2B denials, the Department of Labor says a chilling effect may be on its way for construction companies, resulting in a decrease in projects on Guam. Ken Quintanilla has more.
Nearly a decade ago, Guam, for the most part, would receive almost a 100% approval rate when it comes to H-2B workers. However, lately, it's as if the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services has given Guam the cold shoulder.
To this point, USCIS has not really said, there has been no change in rules. There's been no change in regulations. There's been a change in the way that they're looking at these petitions, but they won't say that there's been any change.
According to Department of Labor Alien Labor Processing and Certification Division Administrator Greg Massey, since December of last year, they noticed a drastic drop in approvals in H-2B workers.
Since January this year, there's only been approvals for just 2 workers. Yeah, so we basically have a 99.7% denial rate. Yeah, so in essence, what's going to happen is without any approvals coming in, we're going to see most of the H-2 workers. Right now, we're at about 1,200 workers, a little bit over 1,200 workers. We're going to see those numbers dwindle down to below 100. We're thinking by like December or January.
And while there's about 5,000 U.S. construction workers on Guam, Macy says these 1,263 H-2B workers are needed to help mid to small range contractors supplement their workforce. A majority, or about 98% of those, come from the Philippines and mostly work in carpentry and cement mason.
So if you're saying that you're going to take away Guam employers' ability to supplement their workforces, you're going to see construction projects either halt or slow down significantly, and there's going to be that impact on the island.
Island leaders have since stepped in seeking immediate regulatory relief. Congresswoman Malin Berdalio wrote to USCIS Director Leon Rodriguez, reiterating her concern that the high rates of H-2B renewal denials are impacting Guam's workforce. Governor Eddie Calvo, meanwhile, wrote to President Barack Obama, but says Guam's calls were being ignored. He says with no indication of the reversal of denial rates, this leaves Guam, quote, in a precarious situation where projects for both military and private sector will be at a standstill without an adequate labor force.
The biggest concern would be we may see some employers that aren't able to compete, so there might be what's called a chilling effect, where employers don't want to bid for jobs because they know they're not going to be able to, get the sufficient workforce.
In the meantime, aside from finding a government fix and working together with stakeholders like the Guam Contractors Association and the Guam Chamber of Commerce, the Department of Labor is also trying to level up programs for as many people as possible. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Ken Quintanilla.
Thanks, Ken. With a little over 60 days until the general election, candidates are hustling to make lasting impressions on voters to secure their seat in office. But what's the secret to getting elected? Crystal Paco has the answer.
It's the island's favorite pastime.
The classic definition of politics is about who gets what, when, and how.
University of Guam professor and political analyst Ron McNinch has studied politics on Guam for the last 20 years. According to his research, the secret to getting elected is
people want to vote for people they feel connected with. We have a direct connection for people we're voting for, and then we have these very, very important secondary or indirect connections to people. And these, what we call weak link connections in sociology, really matter on a place like Guam because we're an island, because we think we know everybody.
That means candidates who shake hands with everyone in the room, kiss babies, and wave on the side of the road are likelier to get elected.
There's an old rule about politics. It's a very important rule. People will vote for you if you ask them to vote for you. And if you don't ask, so somebody else will. That's the other part. Is yeah, you don't care too, but somebody else will.
Although McNinch and his students frequently conduct public opinion polls, he says no candidate is safe, even if they are favored as one of the top vote getters today.
Polls can kill a campaign and can make a candidate lazy or arrogant. On the other hand, a poll can make a person who's running low, it can wake them up and jolt them into action and get them elected. Underdogs are fueled by low polling numbers.
Polls are merely tools. The best measure can be gauged the Sunday before Super Tuesday. Until then, weekends play an important role in shaping a voter's opinion of candidates.
The biggest changes happen on the weekend. Why? Because people with their friends and family, they're relaxing, they drink, and they speak their minds. That's my opinion.
And for parents who will be heading to cast their vote this November, he advises you take your kids to the polls, get them involved, and they'll love voting for the rest of their lives. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Crystal Paco.
Scheduled to join us at the bottom half of the hour for D16 Tonight are three more senatorial candidates, Democrats Therese Terlahi and Jermaine Alerta, and Republican Amanda Bloss. All three are first-time senatorial hopefuls. D16 Tonight is completely interactive. You're able to not only watch live on TV8 or on your YouTube channel, but also watch our Facebook live stream to interact with the candidates. In addition to posing your questions and comments, you can send your sentiment in real time by tapping the reaction emoji to let them know how you feel about their responses. D16 Tonight is live on air and online immediately following our primetime broadcast. This morning, hundreds came out to pay their final respects to longtime priest Father Patrick Garcia at the Dulce Nombre de Maria Cathedral Basilica in Hagåtña. Father Pat spent 27 years ministering to the people of Guam and Saipan. He was laid to rest at Pigo Cemetery. He was 54 years old. Stay tuned. Sports is coming up next, and later, Think Green with Isa.
Hey, smart spenders, looking for more ways to save? Buy food, get fuel. Shell's partnered with Cost You Less and Island Fresh stores to help you save. Spend $30 at any Cost You Less or Island Fresh and receive coupons for $5 off of your next $30 fuel purchase at any Shell station. Receive exclusive Cost You Less and Island Fresh offers when you fuel at Shell. Fuel up at your nearest Shell station today and start stacking on savings. Some conditions apply. See stores for details.
When you reserve a party at Chuck E. Cheese's, it's guaranteed to be a blast! Blast off! And now, birthdays are more of a blast than ever! Because for a limited time, tickets in the Ticket Blaster are worth double!
Proof how authentic my new brewhouse bacon burger is, I'm going undercover at an actual brewhouse.
That's awesome. Amazing.
What if I told you you're eating a Jack's Brewhouse bacon burger from Jack in the Box?
Not this one. I'll tell you lying.
And what if I told you that I'm Jack?
No!
Didn't see that coming, did you? Order ale cheese sauce, grilled onions, and bacon on an artisan potato bun. Jack's Brewhouse Bacon Burger. New from Jack in the Box.
Hey, where'd Jack go? He was just here.
Half a day, Guam. Chris Barnett with sports. First things first, I hope you have power. All right, let's get right to it. Let's hit the road with the Koku Road Race. Run This, Run News 2016 Guam Koku Road Race is taking place Halloween weekend at Ipao Beach Park. The 11th annual run will feature entertainment for each course and incorporate a costume theme and contest. The run consists of a half marathon, Ekiden relay, and the new 10K run walk. Solo and relay runners getting a chance to walk away with some cash prizes for the most original, best superhero, or boo, scariest costume. A post-race monster bash beginning immediately for participants and the public after runners complete the course with vendors. Online registration, get at it, open now at GuamKokuRoadRace.com. And you can follow the Guam Koku Road Races and GVB on Facebook. That's at Guam Koku Road Race, Instagram, at Visit Guam USA, Twitter, and yes, even Snapchat, at Visit Guam for the latest event updates and exclusive online promos. The former Guam High quarterback Juwan King, who plays for North Park University, a Division III school in Chicago, completing 8 passes against Midwestern. King also rushed for a 29-yard touchdown. A big shout-out to Juwan for doing his thing and representing the 671. Guam National Youth Football Federation highlights from Southern Height. 49ers and Packers meeting up in the Matua Division. Tiara Fernandez, go girl, fielding the punt for the Packers. Takes it left, picks up a key block. Hey, it's all about blocking, springing her to the outside before being tackled out of bounds at midfield. 49ers D coming up big with the interception here to stall the Packers' drive in the first quarter. Ethan Sanchez with a nice open field tackle on the Niners, running back after a 2-yard gain. The Packers holding on for the win, 20-zip. Johnny Aldon coming off a blitz for the sack on the way to the big dub. And soccer news now. Good luck going out to our U14 boys national football team set to compete in the AFC U14 Regional Festival of Football 2016 in Beijing, China. The team left island a few days ago with matches for the tournament running through September 11th. All right, and hey, let's jump into a little preview of Friday football right here on the stations of KUAM with a little sneak peek of what the Denver Broncos are thinking.
I want to say they return, I can't remember how many starters, maybe 18, 19 starters, other guys. So they've had a few changes, but you know, they're led by the top player in football, the quarterback, and they're led by 59 defensively. And, you know, they're the staples of their football team. They're very consistent in what they do. They play extremely hard, and Ron coaches the hell out of them.
It's a new season. It's a new team we've got and a new team they've got. So really focused on this week as much as, you know, we did last year, obviously. You know, schematically, not too much. I mean, everybody's got some personnel changes, but, you know, still really good defense.
All right, the 2016 NFL season kickoff right here on the stations of KUAM. Friday, September 9th, KUAM TV 8, 10:30 in the morning. It's the Carolina Panthers at the Denver Broncos. Of course, a rematch of last year's Super Bowl. Like I said, picking the Broncos on that. Who you got? My name's Chris. You keep on shining, Guam. Adios!
The Nissan Summer Fun Event is on. Get into a new Nissan Rogue starting at $129 per pay period with the No Worries Car Care Plan. Your new Nissan comes with a free 3 years protection plan and free paint sealant. Enjoy discounts up to $10,000 when you choose from the award-winning lineup of Nissan SUVs, including Murano, Pathfinder, and the Quest Sports Van. Score super low easy financing and save even more during the Summer Fun Event at Nissan Upper Dumont. Rogue starting at $129 per pay period. Find out more at NissanGuam.com.
Make sure we're getting ready. Excuse me. Hey, Flacco, what's in the bag?
McDonald's new Mighty Wings.
Those look good. I'll play you for them.
For what, my wings?
First one to miss has to watch the other one eat.
Let's go. Left upright.
I want to off the scoreboard through the uprights. Oh, man. Not again.
Cap, you trying to get my wings?
Nah, I'm right here.
What's that noise?
For 20 years, Matson has been an important part of our everyday lives. Bringing in the cars we drive, the food we eat, and the materials that helped build our homes. From caring for our land through the Adaki Itano program to generously supporting our local charities, Matson has contributed to the preservation and growth of our island. On behalf of those you've served throughout your 20 years on Guam, Tidas Ma'asi, Matson.
Welcome back. Want to beat the load shedding blues? Isa Baza tells you how you can do that by using free energy from the sun. Here's Think Green.
Think Green is presented by Pacific Solar and Photovoltaics, keeping Guam green one roof at a time. Call 632-4002 for more information.
With the return of load shedding blues, it's clear why many residents have decided to take the extra step and invest in solar energy. While the rest of us are subject to power outages and fluctuating utility rates, solar energy owners are unaffected, thanks to the energy they receive from the sun. Solar owners Ron and Luke Kanata.
To extract that resource, to help us cope with our energy and being also energy efficient, this is, I think, a very worthwhile investment.
Kanata's solar system, including panels and a solar water heater, provide his family energy throughout the day, with or without load shedding. As for Jigo residents Ken and Teresa Sionco, who also invested in a battery backup system, their family will enjoy power both day and night, despite rolling blackouts. Pacific Solar and Photovoltaics installer Brian Hira.
Basically, the battery system, it stores energy provided by the sun through photovoltaics. And in the event of a power outage, it supplies the house with power from the inverter.
The complete solar system protects homeowners from blackouts, whether it's during load shedding or typhoons.
One, it'll help you with your power bill. Two, like I said, if there's a power outage, you will have power. Not your whole house. It'll power up maybe, your lightings, outlets or refrigerator, basic necessities, rather than go completely dark.
This is just enough to give your family peace of mind, knowing that household essentials are taken care of, no matter what local power companies or Mother Nature may throw your way. With this week's Think Green, I'm Isa Baza.
Think Green is presented by Pacific Solar and Photovoltaics, keeping Guam green one roof at a time. Call 632-4002 for more information.
And before we close out the news tonight, here's your latest round of birthday shoutouts from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. Happy birthday going out to Nainoa Calvo. Happy birthday to Scott D. Duenas III. Your mama loves you so much. Happy 23rd birthday to Giselle Gajo. Have a fantastic day. Love Uncle Mike and Uncle Bruce. Happy birthday to Peter Paul Borja from your wife and family. Also, happy birthday to Nia Calvo from the family. And finally, happy birthday to Danilyn Tidinko. You can be a part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by checking us out on KUAM.com. And that's going to do it for us here on Primetime, but stay tuned. Issa's next with D16 Tonight.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E Life in Motion.
everyone, welcome to D16 Tonight. We have 3 of your candidates running for senator live in studio to take your questions. All you have to do is go to our Facebook page and interact with us on our live stream. For those of you who are already online, fire away and we'll get to your questions in just a bit. With us this week are senatorial candidates, Republican Amanda Blas and Democrats Jermaine Alerta and Therese Terlahi. So congratulations for making it past the primary and thanks so much for joining us. Before we begin, I'll give you each about 30 seconds for some introductory comments, and once we get into the question and answer portion, we'll give you about a minute each to respond. So we'll just start with Amanda.
Sure. Hafa day, everyone. Thank you for turning in to Decision 2016. As Isa mentioned, my name is Amanda Francel Blas, and I am your youngest candidate this year. A little bit background about me. I graduated from the University of Portland, go Pilots, and hopefully, God willing, in a couple of months, I'll be receiving my master's degree from the University of Guam. I can tell you my platform in a simple sentence or two. Right now, Guam relies on 2 sources for the economy, and that's military spending and tourism. And I definitely like to expand the opportunities for our island to include agriculture and aquaculture. Now, I'm sure you'll hear a lot about my platform throughout the rest of the broadcast. So I wanted to share a little bit more of the personal side for me, but maybe that will happen later.
Okay, thanks, Amanda. Therese?
Hafa day. I'm Therese Terlahi. I'm one of 11 children of Ed and Shirley Terlahi and Jonia. I'm the mother of 3 girls. I'm a lawyer. I'm a small business owner. I've been a professor at the University of Guam in the public admin and criminal justice programs, and I've worked with many families, many small businesses, nonprofits, and government agencies. And I'm running for senator because I believe that the legislature plays a very crucial role in the checks and balances of the government of Guam. And I believe that with my skills and my experience, I can very effectively serve the people of Guam in this capacity. I also believe that in the policy making that we can do better for Guam, and that we must do better for our future generations. And thank you.
Thank you, Therese. And Jermaine?
Thank you, Isa. Good evening, Guam. My name is Jermaine Alerta. I'm from Agate. I'm the proud grandson of 2 full Filipino grandfathers, 2 full Chamorro grandmothers. My parents are Jessie Alerta and Esther Cruz. I think our government needs to do much better for our people, and that's what really got me into this race. I just think that we need to start spending money in the proper areas in our government, and I want to be a part of helping make those decisions. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you all again. So we'll just jump straight into our questions from our Facebook viewers, since our Facebook is already going off. So one of the first questions that popped up here was from one of our viewers are asking, would you support the repeal of pay raises for senators and government officials? So we'll start with Jermaine.
Oh, sure. I support a full repeal. Public Law 32208 should be repealed. One of my first things I would do if I'm fortunate to get into the legislature is to introduce a bill to repeal it. If it hasn't already been repealed, I'm hopeful that in the 33rd legislature, in the months left in this current term, that the senators will come around. We need one more vote to override the governor's veto of repealing all those, but I think we need to do a repeal for the senatorial and the governor, lieutenant governor, and all appointed officials.
Therese?
I too am hoping that that issue is something that is going to be taken care of before we get into office. I think if not by the senators themselves, that there is a citizens movement, and I support their efforts to put that on the ballot too. And in whatever way possible to take care of it, so that when in the new legislature, we can move on with more important issues. I mean, we have, when it comes to spending, many bigger items that are also on the plate of the government of Guam. We have to take care of the pay raises that were given illegally. I mean, we have to take care of many other expenditures.
Amanda?
Sure. So since 2013, we've been looking at repealing the senatorial raises, like I said, first in 2013. And at that time, there was a comment made that if we do decrease the pay raises, if we do decrease senator pay, does that mean that there will be less likely to have good quality people who are willing to step up and become senators or to serve our island? And I think that bothers me, because I believe that as a senator or as any public official, you step up with the intention of serving your island. It's all about public service. And that's something that definitely that I think is important is that we look at that we look at that a pay increment shouldn't be an issue about whether you're willing to step up and serve your island. And that's what my thoughts are on that.
All right, thank you. Well, we have another question from one of our viewers. Kevin Manabusin is asking, what makes you qualified to be a senator? So, well, I'll start with Jermaine again.
Oh, well, I have over 13 years of experience in both the legislative and executive branches. I've served for 5 terms under 4 different senators, and I also served as a member of the staff for the Guam State Clearinghouse under Lieutenant Governor Mike Cruz, and also as a communications staffer under Governor Felix Camacho. So I've seen policy making, I've seen the legislative process, I've learned it, I've been fortunate enough to learn it, and those are some of the things that those experiences I want to help guide me if I'm fortunate enough to be elected senator.
Okay, Amanda?
Sure. So as the youngest senatorial candidate, it's obvious I won't have as much experience as some of the other candidates. Right now, I currently am the Deputy Press Secretary at the Governor's Office, but I know, like I said, that I don't have as much experience as other candidates. So why am I qualified? Why do I think I have what it takes to become a senator? I think I have what it takes because I have the passion for our people. I really believe in the opportunities for our island, and I'm really going to push towards that. I think it's time that we bring new ideas and a new generation of thought. And that's not to ignore our older generations who I was raised by my amazing grandparents, Francisco and Cecilia Blas, and they were amazing people who really taught me the traditions of our culture. And I think it's just time that we work together with the new generation and the older generations to really make our island a better place for everyone. So if you're asking what my experience is, I may not have been in the legislature yet, I may not have been in public service for long, but I do have a love for my people, and I do have great ideas to extend opportunities for everyone. And that's why I think I'm qualified.
Okay, thanks, Amanda. And Therese?
I have a resume of experience, but I think what really makes me qualified to serve the legislature is that I take very seriously what the people tell me, and I really welcome this role. It's a different role and one that I actually very much appreciate. I think people on Guam, they want to be heard. They want leaders that will hear them, understand what they actually are going through, and I think I also bring that. I have enough real life experience that I can understand almost all of their experiences, and I think that I've been around long enough, and I've watched politics, and I've watched policy, studied it, worked with it. I've done enough that I know also not just to bring in fresh ideas, but to bring in those years of knowing what the government has done, what worked, what did not work, and why it did not work. So we don't just reinvent the wheel, and we can really move forward as opposed to just spinning our wheels. That's what I'm really hoping.
All right, thank you. Well, we have a lot more questions here on our live stream. Don't forget, you can send all your questions to our live stream. Also, you can share your sentiments by either liking, sending a thumbs up, or smiley faces and things such as that. So another one of our questions is regarding homelessness. So one of our viewers is asking, what is your view on homelessness in Guam, and what would you do to address that issue? So we'll start with Therese this time.
I'm the lucky one. Okay, homelessness is absolutely, I think everyone on Guam, we can't avoid seeing this nowadays. It's not like before, and so we have to do it. I think it all goes together with the issues of poverty, work, working wages. What makes it effective for them to work versus going on welfare? All the programs that the government of Guam has actually, we have in place. We just have to get these services to the people more effectively. And homelessness it's very important because we have children that are homeless, and I think that just makes it almost no excuses. We can't wait anymore. We can't lolly-la talk about it. We've really got to act. And I think we've got some programs in place, and it's a matter of getting the agencies to get these programs to the people as fast as possible.
Thanks, Jermaine.
I think it's going to take a community effort. Like Therese said, there are government programs that are available right now, and we need to strengthen and improve those programs. Like she said, try to reach out and get them out to where they need to be, to get it to the people that need it the most. But we also need to work, the government I'm speaking about, needs to work with the private sector also, because, just working in Agana, we see the effect of homelessness. We see many people who walk the streets. And I think as a community, we need to get together and help these people get better training, get ready for more work programs, get them more education so that they can help themselves. We need the government and the community at large to help them help themselves.
Okay, Amanda?
Sure. So for the last couple of years, I did have the opportunity to be a part of the homeless count on our island, and it really was an eye-opener for me. But one of the things that I do like about the homeless count is they do ask questions and their concerns, and you kind of get an idea of where they're coming from. And the constant thing that I heard when they interviewed the population who wasn't fortunate enough to have a home was that the issue was being able to find a job, and the job opportunities weren't always there. And I think that's the main reason why I'm looking at expanding industries on Guam. We have amazing farmers out there, and I think it's time that we do make a thriving agriculture industry. Can you imagine the many jobs that will be open from that? And I just think that's what it'll take. It'll take really improving our economy and looking at more than just military spending and tourism. I mean, we can embrace those definitely, but I think it's time to definitely look at other opportunities such as agriculture and aquaculture.
Okay, thank you. Well, stemming from that topic, one of our viewers again is asking all of you, his name is Alan St. Nicholas. He's asking, what are they going to do about paratransit systems for handicapped people? And also just going along with that question, busing in Guam in general. So I guess we'll start with Jermaine.
Well, you know, our paratransit system right now, the biggest problem I believe with the system as it is we don't own our own resources. The government does not own its buses. We contract these services out. So the government needs to get more serious on putting the proper resources, the proper funding to getting our buses on. I took a trip a few years back in Australia, and the public transportation system there runs like clockwork. It's 15 minutes on the dot. If you're not there, all you have to wait is 15 more minutes for another bus to come around. Now, a lot of people here on Guam rely on transportation to get to their jobs, and some of them don't own their own personal transportation. So if we fully fund or fully invest in improving it, then I don't see why we can't help people get to the jobs that they need to be at, and that'll help in turn help our community get better. You know, get a little bit more better little by little.
Okay, thank you, Therese.
Yes, I know I had a brother that was on the transportation board for many years, and it was very frustrating for him because they work very hard trying to find policy, and he hasn't been on it for years, but I followed this issue, and yes, part of it is the procurement of how we get these services, and I know that there have been, different maybe jumpstart efforts, and I just think it just has to become priority, absolute priority, because it is related to getting them to jobs, getting all of us to jobs. And I have a brother who's also, who needs to use special vehicle to get around because of a disability, and yeah, same issues. I mean, but yeah, in order to have a reliable work, they're going to have reliable transportation. So absolutely, we just need to prioritize it, and they've been working on it, but I think absolutely prioritize it.
Okay, thanks, Therese. And Amanda?
So when I was going to school in Portland, Portland has one of the model bus systems in the nation. And obviously going from Portland to Guam, you really see the issues that Guam has. I mean, we do have buses, but sometimes the buses come late or don't come at all, which is a constant complaint. And if we do have buses, they're not always suitable for our disabled brothers and sisters on island. And that makes it an issue. And I think it is an issue of procurement and investment into the bus system as well. I think we do need to invest in it, and that's to help ensure that everybody has the opportunity. You can't get to a job if you don't have transportation. Not everybody's fortunate enough to have a car, and I think that's an issue, is just making sure that there is an investment into the bus system. And I also think it means actually looking at what works for Guam. Obviously, Guam's system would be different from Portland's, although it was a model. We can't just take a model from a different state and bring it to Guam, because Guam has a very unique culture and road system. And so I think it's definitely something we need to look at, what will work best for our people and for our island.
Okay, well, thank you so much. We have to take a quick break, but stay tuned. We'll have more questions from the candidates or for the candidates after the break.
This is what we do on Guam's best network. We're the filter killers. Likers and shares, the bingers and Netflix chillers, tweeters and hashtaggers. GTA has improved their 4G LTE network, covering 95% of the island, delivering faster data speeds, strength and quality, and more reliability than ever. It's just what you need. So switch to GTA and step up to a better network, a strong network that lets you do what you do. GTA, better LTE than ever.
come you're not training for the Guam Koku Road Race, man?
It's not even fair, bro. I'll just win that.
Boom! Got him.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
At IT&D, we take a different approach when it comes to data. Introducing IT&D's new rate plans. We've increased the amount of 4G LTE data for our plans to give you more of what you want, so you can do more of the things that you want. More snapping, more sharing, more connecting. Bring your own phone and get even more 4G LTE data and up to 3 months of free service. New plans, more data, more value. IT&D, life in motion.
Smiling is a natural response to joy, happiness, and excitement. Your smile reveals a lot about who you are. A healthy, beautiful smile can brighten your appearance and be an invitation to conversation and friendship. It is often one of the first things people notice about you. Now, thanks to the advancements in dentistry, you can have the smile you have always wanted, giving you an improved smile that looks and feels great.
My silver fillings that I have, they're getting older in my mouth and I need to replace them. So I've started to do that, and I've replaced them with the white fillings, and I've had really great success with that. It looks good, they feel natural, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the bleaching. I want a white look all around my mouth.
It's our Labor Day sales event going on now at Cars Plus and Mighty. This week, save thousands on our award-winning American lineup. Go beast mode on a brand new Ram truck. American muscle at its best with Labor Day discounts up to $8,500 off. Jeep lovers, the most awarded SUV lineup ever is all priced to move at Guam's #1 dealership. Visit us online at carsplusguam.com for easy shopping and quick financing. It's our Labor Day sales event going on now through September 8th at Cars Plus and Mighty. Cars Plus, driven by you.
Ruby Tuesday now gives you more for lunch. Endless trips to the Fresh Garden Bar, plus add-ons, mini combinations, and even new meal options. It's the new lunchtime menu, available Monday to Friday until 2 p.m., only at Ruby Tuesday.
Welcome back to D16 Tonight. If you're just joining us online or on KUAM Digital, we've got with us in studio Democrat senatorial candidates Therese Terlahi and Jermaine Alerta, and Republican candidate Amanda Blas. If you got a question, feel free to post it on our Facebook live stream. So getting first back to the questions, we'll just get right back into it. We have a question from Daniel Tyhern, who's asking, what are your thoughts on the current deportation situation, and how will you contribute to a permanent solution if you become senator? So we'll start with Amanda.
You know, the issue really goes down to is public safety. In the news all the time, we often see all these different reports about different crimes that are happening, and it's just an issue of public safety. How can we make our island a safer place? What can we do? And I think that's what we're really looking at right now, are what options do we have to ensure that Guam's a safer place for everybody? And I think that's what the priority is. And that's the main focus. That's what we need to look at, is continue to look at how can we make Guam a better place? What do we need to do? What safety measures need to be put in place? That's the importance.
Okay, thanks, Amanda. And Therese?
Yes, I think if I remember correctly, that the AG has weighed in on this and said that, you know, she was concerned with some of the issues, and that, yes, public safety is important, but we're also concerned about making some kind of opening for all the people in DOC to make the same type of, or to request for the same type of treatment to be sent someplace instead of serving their time. And so I think they need to really, finesse any kind of policy that they're going to do. And I actually believe that policy like this should be vetted through the people, and that it should be.
Okay, thanks, Therese. And Jermaine?
Yes, we have to actually make a distinction between deportation and some of the issues that are going on, because there's commutation and shipping people back to sending people back to the countries that they came from. There's a big difference between the two. There's a process for deportation that needs to be followed. And I understand where Amanda's coming from, where we don't want people who have committed crimes to be here on our island. And if they violated that, then absolutely, there's a process that has to be undertaken and they have to go through in order to deport them back to their homeland. But what we've been doing, what the governor has been doing lately is commuting people's sentences and then sending them back. KUAM just ran a story recently, this week, I believe, that there's a guy whose sentence was commuted. He was sent back to his homeland, and now he wants to come back to Guam, and he says build a better life for himself or start over. I don't know what legal ramifications are going to happen because of that, but if in my very introductory reading about it, it seems that he does have a case, and we have to be careful about mixing up the two subjects.
Yeah,
okay, thank you. So now we're just going to switch gears a little bit. I know we didn't get to all of our Facebook questions, but again, they're there for you. After the show, you can log on and answer some of them yourself. So now we're going to have each of you ask one of your own questions to your fellow candidates. So we'll start off with Jermaine.
All right, mine's a little bit of an interesting one. So we're all new here, right? Amanda, Therese, we're new. We're new candidates. And all the incumbent senators are also running this election. In order for one of us to get in, that means one has to be unseated. Which sitting senator, would you want to unseat and why?
You know what, and my answer is just, I don't think that's my call to make. It's not my call to decide if I'm going to be a better senator than the next person, than Therese or Jermaine. It's not my call to make that. It's the people's call, and I think that's my answer. I can't answer that fully because it shouldn't be me to decide who am I going to unseat or who do I wish to unseat if I do make it into the legislature. And that's the whole reason why we have these amazing people of Guam voting for us, is because it's who's best going to serve the entire island, not just me. Who do I think is the worst person or who do I think is the best person? It doesn't matter, but it matters what everybody thinks. And so that would be my answer for that.
Okay, thanks, Amanda. And how about you, Patrice?
That's a tough question, Jermaine, but yeah, I all I can say is that I would hope that the people would put a group of senators together in there who can work together, but also work independently, stand up for themselves and think independently and be able to really represent all the people of Guam. And when it comes time for check and balances the government, that they're able to do that. That's all I would ask. And so put anyone in there who can do those things, please.
Okay, thank you. Did you have anything else you'd like to add?
That's a question.
Okay, so moving on, Amanda, would you like to ask your question?
Sure. So, for example, my greatest inspiration is somebody who I think is one of the greatest leaders of our island, is my uncle Frank Bloss, who passed away. So he was one of my inspirations because he provided so many opportunities to our people. And so I just want to know, who are your inspirations?
Political.
In general, it's open.
Well, I have several inspiration, but I have to just say recently my biggest inspiration, it might sound corny, but it's my girls. My girls are just becoming, adults now, and I'm just really happy to see that what they value is, it's our culture, it's a good Guam, and that they are willing to do the work that it takes to take care of Guam also, and I'm just really inspired by that. So they're weavers, so they like to weave, and one of their big things is coconut trees. I mean, if we cannot take care of coconut trees, we lose so much on Guam. And things like that, I mean, it sounds simple, but it's so very, very important. It's inspiring to me.
Okay, thanks.
Well, my inspiration, there's a whole long list, like I'm sure everyone else has a list, but right now I'm thinking of just out of the blue, my grandmother, Guadalupe Cruz Cordero, and she's a big inspiration because, she's very supportive of the things that I do, and I've seen her raise her kids, and like every family, you know, we have problems, we have our own problems, but she always tries to see the good in everything, and I think that's one of the best things you can do is try to see the good in every situation. It may be the hardest thing you'll ever have to go through, but if you can try to see the good and try to just work your way through it, then if you're doing good, then good things will result from it. So my grandmother is my biggest inspiration.
Okay, thank you. Well, you guys are getting a lot of support here on our Facebook live stream. And so don't forget, if you have your sentiments, you can send them in to our Facebook live stream. And we'll finish off with our last question.
Okay. Well, my question was, that's why I brought this paper, is the governor's special finance team for the hospital proposed as a remedy to part of it to include increasing the hotel occupancy tax, increasing the business privilege tax, implementing a wholesale GRT, and increasing real property tax. And I would ask my fellow candidates if they support any of these measures as a way of helping the hospital.
Amanda?
So first of all, I want to say thank you to the great men and women of Guam Memorial Hospital. I was actually over there a couple of weekends ago, and they're amazing people. They work hard. You see them, and I think a lot of times they're not recognized for their hard work. So definitely want to say thank you. As for the best way to improve our hospital, you know, there's so many options on the table, and I think we do need to look at all of them. I don't think we can shut down any of them yet, because it's obvious that we need to invest in our hospital. This is our only public hospital. We need to do something to take care of it. And the reason why we need to take care of it is because we need to take care of our people. And this hospital accepts everyone. So as far as which option I'm looking at, I'm still open, because I think that there's more we can learn about them, and that as soon as we learn more and we decide which is the best fit, then we can go forward with it. But definitely, I think that these options are better than just not doing anything about improving our hospital and not doing anything to ensure that the people of Guam have a great functioning hospital. A hospital is an investment, and all these options are looking at it as an investment. And we need to keep that in mind instead of just saying, this isn't going to work, this isn't going to work, this isn't going to work. So all these options are definitely on the table, and I look forward to learn more about it, to see which will work best for our island.
Okay, thanks, Amanda. And Jermaine?
I believe Attorney Chalahi's question was, do we support the options, or at least the recommendations to raise taxes to help with the hospital? Absolutely not. We should not raise taxes to help with the fiscal mismanagement that has been happening at the hospital. We need to own up as government leaders, take responsibility for our failures. And when we haven't focused on fixing a problem, we can't just put it on the backs of our people. We don't go out and try to fix every financial problem by proposing to raise taxes on our people. We're just hurting them because of what we failed to do, because of what we messed up on. We don't do that to our people. We have to serve them. Now, we need to just look at the entire government budget and look at priority areas that we can focus on, and the non-priority areas, we take the money from there. We make the hard decisions, look at non-priority areas and say, we need to spend all that money on places like the hospital, because we can't put that responsibility on the backs of our people.
Okay, well, thank you so much. We have about a few minutes more for closing comments. So each of you will have about 30 seconds, and we'll start with Amanda.
First of all, once again, thank you for tuning in to Decision 2016. I know we couldn't get to a lot of your questions, so I definitely invite you to message me on my Facebook, Amanda Francel Boss for Senator, on Instagram, Twitter. You'll find me on all of that, because I definitely want to hear your concerns. As your youngest candidate, you haven't gotten to hear me as much, and I definitely want to make sure that you hear my platform, my vision for Guam, even more importantly. And once again, thank you, and I humbly ask each and every one of you who are tuning in, whether you're on Facebook Live or whether you're watching us at home, to please definitely keep me in your thoughts when you vote, and I humbly ask for your vote.
Thanks, Amanda. And Therese?
Yes, I too want to thank you and thank KUAM for the opportunity to get this input from the people, and it's something that I'm very grateful for all the people that I've met and been able to speak with and listen to, and I want them to know that I take what they say very seriously, and that I am very humbled by the support in the primary, and I am still very ready and committed to serve you.
Jermaine?
Oh, thank you, KM. Thank you, Issa. Thank you to the great people of Guam for listening. I'm Jermaine Lerta. I'm the youngest Democrat candidate. I'll plug that in. But so here's one of the reasons I decided to run. 10 years ago, we were spending $500 million on our GovGuam budget. This most recent one was about $900 million. That's almost double. When you spend more, you expect better results. But we still have broken roads. We still have problems at our hospital. We still have problems in our schools. And yesterday, we all suffered through all those power outages. That can't be the case anymore. We need to change the old way of thinking, and let's spend in the areas that are most important to us that will improve the quality of life for everyone. I'm Jermaine, and I humbly ask for your vote. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you all again for joining us, and good luck to you in November, and we'll be seeing you guys on the campaign trail. And thanks to all of our viewers watching at home and on Facebook, our live stream. Well, remember, your vote is your voice.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E Life in Motion.